Rocket Nation. We're 12 weeks into the football season. The weather's getting cold. Coach Thompson, you know you're successful when you play football in the cold weather, and you love it. You love to win.
I love to be successful. Let's clear that up. But the cold weather has about killed me. Man.
And it's been even more difficult this week because you had the snow and you've been out of school, and it's like having homecoming week in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a big distraction. It's just out of routine. The kids, you have to be able to get the kids to the school to practice and all that and get them out safely. So your window to practice is really small. But our administration has done a good job at finding time for us to get in and really work on some things this week.
Well, we've got Russellville back this week, a team we beat 21-14. It seems like yesterday, it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they're a good football team. They proved they were in the game to the last minute with us last time, courtesy of a safety with about 6 minutes to go that brought them within a one possession opportunity there in the final minutes of that game. But we roll in here number 7 in the state. Mm-hmm. We're 9-2 right now. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves. And we are the favorite.
Well, yeah, we won the first go around, so I'd say the people probably would pick us as the favorite. But they're a really good football team, and they came in, they played us tough last time. This go around, we're gonna have to make sure that we don't make mistakes, shoot ourselves in the foot. You say those are out of characteristic mistakes, but really and truly we've made small mistakes like that in games throughout the season. And at this point in the year, you can't make those mistakes if you want to keep playing. So we want to make sure that we do a better job executing and making sure that we stay engaged throughout the whole game and not get comfortable in any situation.
Of course, we had some tip passes in that game that some went into their hands from their quarterback. We tipped it, they called it, and then we had one that was tipped and intercepted from our guy that was returned for a touchdown. So, and then some penalties at odd times really hurt us in that game, and we'll talk some more about that in a second. But one thing I want to mention right now is that you are 20-4 as a head coach right now.
Got a lot of good players.
20-4. That good players make great coaches, don't they?
For sure. And I just want to keep building the big number. Yeah, let's keep that 4. Let's keep that 4 hung up there a little while.
We're looking for the district championship, and this is it's a matter of syntax this time because the district championship will actually be awarded this week. It will, in the past you've won the district trophy, the big Kentucky looking trophy that has the district championship on it, and
you still do. It's just this week. So.
It's this week. That's right. Used to you won it during the regular season. It was presented in the postseason, but you won it based on your regular season round robin with your district opponents. So it's different. We have to, in order to really lay claim to this three-peat. It's syntax. We've said we've three-peated, but we got to do it this week, and we're going to have to do it on a cold Friday night. At least we're at Rocket Stadium, and it's going to be a good night. Hopefully everybody will show up.
That's where the party's going to be at.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back in just a minute and get into this football game that's coming up.
Ever since I was a child, I've loved land. I loved every land. My mother's father was a farmer, so my granddaddy and his father was a farmer, and I spent my childhood's summers in coming to Kentucky and working on the farm, and everything from the smell of dirt to feeling it run the dirt go between your fingers. There's nothing like it.
Full Body Fitness, training Rockets and Rocket fans since 2006.
Cashback, please.
25 cents.
I need to cash this, please.
25 cents.
Cashback, please.
25 cents.
Hunter, why are you shortchanging the customers?
At this window, all you get's a quarterback.
Welcome back to the show, Rocket football fans. Coach Thompson, Crittenden County is known for its football. We won a state championship in 1985. We won a couple of regional championships, and this program has won 7 district titles in the last 22 years. That's about a third of the district titles there in the last 22 years. but we have to remember 4 of those years were in Class 2A. So we're a pretty successful program. Some I've even heard the term Baby Mayfield. How does that fit?
I mean, I'll take that.
You're aware of that
one. Mayfield's a great program, so of course I think everyone in the state strives to have the success that they've had. Coach Morris does a great job over there, and I take that. That's a compliment to me. But at the same time, Coach Starnes has done a really good job here just laying that foundation and coming in and really making this program into a winning program year in and year out, and just sustained it over all 27 of those years, and really and truly did a good job for me getting all the pieces back in place to just come in and be successful after he left, without really having to figure things out being a new head coach. So, it's guys like that you want to be like. So we've just continued off the success that he built, and players go a long way. And
Continuity is huge in any football program, any athletic program for that matter. And when you look at Crittenden County has a 62-year football history, and Coach Starnes was here almost 30 of those. So, and built this program and left you a nice little egg to start your career with. And you're the 15th coach, I believe I'm right, 15th coach in the history of Crittenden County football, and the first Crittenden County Rocket alumnus.
Yeah, and I take pride in that. Coming back and being where I'm from, I've said it a million times, football is what brought me to Crittenden County, or at least what kept me here. And I just love being a part of it. It's hard to say that you can sit there and even just coach or do something as long as Coach Starnes did. But I hope that my career is long like that and half as successful as his. So.
Let's talk about this football game coming up. Russellville is another team with a very, very storied past. State championships, multiple state championships, multiple trips to the state championship. Of course, Kenny Barrett, the longtime coach down there, he's been gone quite a while. And Mikey Benton, a former Panther himself, an alumnus of that school, he's back. And they're making some steps. We're seeing them getting better right now.
For sure. They played a really tough schedule. And that's what you want to do. You want to be battle tested come this time of year. So this year, in speaking this year, they're a better team than people that have seen them. If you haven't seen them, you think that they're down, but they're really not. They're still tough, and they've done a good job with those guys. And then you look back to last year was his first year, the same as me, and it was just a transition from long time coach who did things one way and then transitioned into new coach who did
put in a whole new offense
in there and just changed everything, so it's taking time. And then having Logan County there and those kids choosing Logan County or Russellville, I'm sure it goes in
very
runs.
successful now. Logan County is.
Yeah, their success has definitely changed things for Russellville. So I just a lot goes into that, but they are a good football team, and they definitely. In their minds, they're the favorite. They're the team that's going to leave out of Rocket Stadium on Friday with the win.
What do we do differently? What did we learn from that first game? The quarterback was pretty effective at times. What, as far as the way we're going to approach defensively, what they're going to do to us? We need gauge here, don't we?
Yeah, we do. But the thing about last time that hurt us was how much we allowed the quarterback to run around. They did some things that got him in space, or he extended some pass plays, and he was really able to run around and make some plays with his feet, maybe through the air as well. But we got to limit him running around and dictating what we're going to do. We got to control him, keep him in the pocket, and make sure that we don't let him get free. And then the other thing we have to do is tackle. We got to make sure we tackle well. We missed a lot of tackles, but that's that T-bone play that game, and he had the shoulder issue and his back issue with the blood going on and all that stuff. So we were kind of a man down because he was in there. We didn't really know what was going on. But we're 100% with the guys that are going to be in there. Of course, he won't be in there, but the guys that are going to be in there 100%, it'll look a little bit differently. It's not playing with that hole there, you know. So we just got to make sure we tackle well and keep the quarterback under wraps.
Well, sick Braxton Winders and Lathan Easley on the quarterback. I mean, they do a good job of spying one.
Yeah, we'll do a much better job of keeping him in the pocket for sure. Coach Courtney's really good about game planning for what he wants to take away, and when he wants to take something away, he typically does.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Since 1973, Hodges has been equipping Rockets and Rocket fans with gear and apparel. Come see us! We'll see you here Friday night at the football game.
Hello, I'm Rick Hughes at Deer Lakes Golf Course in Salem, Kentucky, home of Rocket golfers.
Hey, Rocket football fans.
Let Rommel Ellington tackle your dirty ride.
Here at H&H, we've got just about anything that it takes to get you back out on the field.
Welcome to Hometown Chiropractic. I'll be right with you.
All right, welcome back. And Coach Thompson, we would be terribly remiss if we did this show and didn't talk about your sophomore quarterback, Luke Kreider, who is just really growing up under fire.
Yeah.
He was number 3 on the depth chart when the season started. And at Fulton County, halfway through that game, he came in. And then his first start was the last time against Russellville. Didn't throw the ball very much then. But he did last week and was very efficient. He's been very efficient so far at quarterback.
Yeah, he's done a very good job for us. We've said it numerous times. He's been very efficient in his decision making and what he's doing for the offense. What he does is provide stability and in the passing game for us because he makes good choices most often. And you can see that just in his completion percentage.
He's 31 for 49 right now through 3.5 games.
And a lot of those incompletions are balls where there's drops, but there's also balls where he's giving our receivers opportunity to make a play on the ball. And that's what the Russellville game was. A lot of that was going the vertical route. And giving those guys a chance at one-on-one. And sometimes you're going to win those are 50-50 balls. So he's putting it out there for the receivers to go out and make plays. And I love that about him. The thing about it is he doesn't want it in his hands. You know, and I preach to quarterbacks all the time. With the ball's in our hands as quarterbacks, we're not very good offense because we want to get it to all those athletes, those skilled guys that work really hard to be able to make the plays that we set up in our offense. So he doesn't keep the ball in his hands. He gets rid of it quick and makes really good decisions, and that's why he's been successful. For me, being with him, I'm surprised that he was able to go out there and do it at the rate he's doing it as far as growing up and making the plays he's making. But I knew he was smart. But there's a difference between being smart and knowing what to do and being able to do it on a Friday night because of the pressure that comes along with that. But he's taken that, and that's the one thing that you didn't know. So he got his chance, he took advantage of it, and he hasn't let go of it.
He has, and thrown a couple of interceptions, but 9 touchdown passes. Yeah, one of them was tipped. That was in the Russellville game last time. And and he is smart. He's book smart. He's savvy. He's game savvy too. But when you're taking a math test, there's not a 250-pound end coming after you either. So playing football, this football smarts is a lot different than.
Yeah, well, he trusts his linemen. That's one thing. He takes his drop. His eyes are where he's supposed to be. 9 times out of 10, he's not looking at the rush, and that allows him to stand in there and throw balls that weren't getting delivered before. And once you put the ball in their hands, as far as the skilled guys go, we have some pretty good ones, and they can make plays with it. So,
and you mentioned on Monday's postgame show about all the different receivers. Go through your receiving core real quick and talk about some of the progress those guys have made.
Right now, on the outside, we start Preston Turley and Maddox Carlson.
Maddox caught a pass the other night.
Yeah, they're both good possession receivers. Preston Turley is a matchup nightmare. He's a guy that you're going to have to put your best DB on because of his size, just physical stature alone, and his ability to be able to move at that size. And then Maddox is a guy who we moved to receiver this year, and he's filled in for T-Bone since he's gone down, and he's done a good job. He He's sure-handed, and he showed last week he can make catches too, and get upfield and do something with it. So on the outside, we're bigger, and got guys that can catch the ball. On the inside is where you get Caden McAllister and then Preston Morrison, guys that once they have the ball in space, they can make that home run play and
then X out of the backfield.
And then X out of the backfield. And the big thing that I was talking about with that was Kreider was able to hit every one of those guys in the game. And that's spreading it around. I went to just not telling him where to look, let him do what he does. There's progressions on every play, and he's able to look out there and tell if he needs to be on front side, back side, if he's based off the coverage he's getting. This is where I want to be in the play, and he's doing that on his own now. And that's the big thing. I don't have to look out there and give him a signal. This is where I need you to look on this play. And for me, that makes it easier for me to start to think about what I need to do next, to just let him play. So all those guys together makes us dangerous, especially with our line blocking the way they are. So offensively, we're looking nice.
And take an opportunity to mention that Xander is closing in on the regular season or single season rushing record. He's 240, 50 something yards from that, and that is held by Jimmy Hopper, who played when you play 12, 13 football games a year, you can break some records. And Jimmy Hopper did. He was on that 63 team, the first regional championship Crittenden County ever had, so they went deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, well, we're 11 games in right now. Maybe 12
on
Friday. So that will be X's 11th. Because he missed the game.
He missed the Ballard game.
And then he had 2 games where
didn't get many carries against Converse.
So, and then I like to make fun all the time in this offense where we throw the ball so much that our running back is breaking a single or has a chance. And you go back and look at Nesbitt last year, he had the chance to break it as well. They were very close. He was 100 yards off of it or 90, something like that. But those guys getting so close and it's all about what the defense is going to give you, and they take advantage of their opportunities and do a good job. They're doing it in different ways, but
And you say it's what the defense will give you. It's what the defense can take away from you too. And when you're multifaceted, it's hard for just like you said, Coach Courtney does such a good job of taking something away. A lot of times you can take one thing away, but when we've got 2 barrels,
and that's what you have to pick. You have to pick what you're going to take away. And this year it's been a lot more of us forcing the run. So you may take this away in our run game, but we do something else. But we can throw it too as well, and we have guys to throw it too. And as we go further, X is going to continue to benefit from that because you have to respect our passing game.
Well, to go further, we got to keep winning.
For sure.
And we'll have to win Friday night. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back to our trivia question.
I'm Darren Tabor, Homestead Auction Realty. Let us get you across the goal line with a new home.
Hey Kelly, it's almost Friday.
And we'll see you at Rocket Stadium.
5 regular season home games, at least 2 home playoff games, at 8 touchdowns per, 56 touchdowns. That's a lot of booms.
All right, welcome back to the show. We're going to get right to our trivia question. This week's question, now remember, if you know the answer to your question, go down to H&H Home and Hardware. You're looking at my answer again, so you're not going to win. You're disqualified. So go down to H&H Home and Hardware, give them the answer, and if you have it right, you'll get a free round of golf down at Deer Lakes in Salem. This week's question, in 1983, we're going to go back in the annals of time here.
I wasn't born yet.
Dustin, you weren't born yet. David Belt set the record for tackles in a game. Now, David is an accountant down in Paducah now. Set the record for tackles in a game against Russellville. David Belt, 1983, set the record for tackles in a game against Russellville. How many tackles did he have? Hey, and also this week is our last chance to do Boots for Bucks. We haven't had anybody yet kick it, But hey, some of them have gotten close. We're having a lot of fun with it. So get online, go to the Crittenden Press Facebook page, look for the Boots for Bucks promotional with Mark Williams of Whitetail Properties, and share that post, and that will enter you to win. Hopefully we'll get a winner, and you'll get $100.
We need one.
Yeah, the kicker gets 100, and he gets 100 if they make it. All right, we're going to take another quick break, and we'll come back and close out the show.
I love option play. Was that a 42 speed option? Are you looking for a banking option?
Sequence, double cardigan.
Coming to Marion soon.
Through the week, we are welding and fabricating. On Friday nights, we are grinding it out with the Rockets. Touchdown, Rockets!
T-Bone, good luck this week.
Thank you.
Good luck this week, Titan.
Boys, we gotta know what the game plan is this week. We're banking on you.
From our team to yours, we're behind you all the way, Rockets. Par 4 Plastics, where people make the difference.
You go in the game this week, you go in style, Rocket fans. Come by Max 2 Custom Kit and Detail for a $15 warranty.
All right, welcome back to the show. Coach, we mentioned we're 11 games into the season. We'll play our 12th game on Friday night. And, you know, we are somewhat fortunate in the fact that we don't have many injuries. Now, we've had some season-ending injuries, one of them being to Tyler Boone, who arguably our most recognizable and arguably the best player. You know, he's well known. And you take Campbellsville, who lost Malachi Corley, and he came back, I think, this past week, but the effect that it had on their team. And we seem to be overcoming that very, very substantial injury.
Yeah, for sure. T-Bone's the heart and soul of our defense, first off, and he's been a guy offensively for us who's just made plays, timely plays. And you go back a year ago, I think he was tackled like 2 times the whole season. Yeah. You know, he's just been a guy who's just willpower. You know, he just mind over matter. He goes out there and he's made plays, and especially on the defensive side of the ball. That stands out to people. But with that being said, we also have other guys that do the same thing, and we've always had the mentality next man up, and we prepare ourselves early to be able to play a lot of people late. And by doing that, we're able to move some things around and put it together a pretty solid defense in his absence, as well as on offense. I mean, we just do that by preparing to force them in the fire and making sure that they're ready for the moment. So when things like this happen, because you never know who it's going to be and when it's going to be, because you're always one play away from being done forever. And, you know, the kids do a good job of buying into that mentality, and you know, the kids also do a good job of playing for those people who are missing those opportunities. And you know,
he's gotten a lot of love after the ball games,
for sure. And I think Caden is the one who's playing in the middle right now
and playing extremely hard.
Yes, and I think he does that extra effort he's given is for Tyler. You just see how close they are. And
that whole group is very
close. Very close. And you know, it's special to be around kids that are like that because they play for each other. So as a coach, you know that they're going to give it every bit they got every play.
Right. Noah McGowan, he was withheld from the game last week to recover. What's his status?
He could have played last week, but you know, his shoulder was still sore from the Russellville game. So he dressed, but you know, we tried to, you know, against maybe what he wanted to do, just try to protect him a little bit and make sure that he was 100% coming into this week. And he's feeling a lot better. The shoulder injury that he sustained is when he's going to feel it for a little while, but it's something he can play with, and he's ready to go.
Any other injuries?
Outside of Bryson, I think Bryson actually went to the doctor.
Bryson Baker
is going to the doctor at least to see if he can start his rehab process, which is good for him. Yeah. It doesn't mean that we'll see him in football season, but it's good for him to get healthy. That means it's healing right.
All right. Well, again, somewhat healthy. I mean, really very healthy considering the brutality sometimes of the sport.
For sure. We're in good shape heading into this week, and that's how we want it to be.
Well, closing comment here. I know Friday night, last home game of the season, folks.
Yeah.
What do you want to see?
I want to see the stands filled. I want to see the student section doing what they do. I want to see Vicky playing the music like she does. I like the way last time Russellville was here, their fans enjoyed the music. I like that teams come in there and that affects them too. But at the same time, we want to make sure that that atmosphere is for us to give us that extra advantage going into the game. So I just want to make sure that we come out and support these boys one more time this year at home, and leave with the trophy.
Wrap up. Get warm, come to the game. Wrap up. Hey, speaking of wrapping up, we're going to wrap this show up. 7 o'clock Friday night, your district championship right here at Rocket Stadium.
Everything in this country was built from the ground up, and it starts with land. When I can go out and take somebody onto a property and see that gleam in their eye when they find a farm that they fall in love with because they're as passionate about land as I am, that's when the magic happens. That's what makes what we do so great. There's no dollar amount. There's nothing else that can compare to the look you get when somebody signs on that dotted line and their dreams have come true about owning land.